If you trade the SP 500 and you're a scalper, this video is going to be for you. I'm going to be covering the snap trades, how we actually trade the morning. This is essentially an orb strategy, but in our own unique way. This is what we call snap trades. So I'm going to show you exactly how this thing works. I love the way this works. I love this type of trading. And I'm even going to show you the exact strategy we're using. So if you don't need our software, really, you don't. But to me, having software with alerts, with all the guides, everything kind of just showing you exactly how we are making these trades on a daily basis is really nice. Plus, we have updated hit lists and a bunch of other cool stuff with it. And like I said, there will be a link in the description if you're interested in this, but I really just want to show you this system. That's really what this video is about. So is the S&P 500 broken? Well, we may have cracked the code. And again, this is a 71% win rate as of the last 30 days that we have traded this system. Now, that's no guarantee that will continue. It could even get better, it could get worse, but there is no guarantees in trading. However, this is just what we have been able to do with this thing. So 14 trades, 71% win rate. And the number that I want you guys to focus on and remember, keep that in the back of your mind, is 2.75. That is the profit factor that we have for this. Keep that in mind because that's going to be important. So I'm going to cover the strategy, very simple, and I'll even jump over the charts if you're interested, just to know a little bit more. I even have other videos about this, and so I'm trying not to overwhelm anybody who maybe want to trade this, but which is why obviously we developed snap trades. But this is what we do. We wait for the morning to break out. There's a range. We wait for it to break out above or below. And as soon as it does, and it meets a bunch of criteria, we actually have to below one of our moving averages. The volatility has to be in the market. So the VIX actually has to be over a certain number, right? And so those are a couple filters that we added in. We're going to be actually adding in more, but right now those are two that we have in mind with snap trades. And then you wait for snap, you wait for it to break out, and then you bank the profits. And so that's obviously if that's a winner. And then if it's a loss, you just get out quick. What's great about this though is that we have a great risk to reward. Great risk to reward. So these are the verified stats, basically, and they're just through. We're using the TradingView strategy tester, which is, to me, is really great because if you're using TradingView, you're getting in at the entry and then you're getting out at the exit, which is, I mean, you can't get any more clear than that, which is really cool. And that's kind of how I've been able to track these trades as well. So, January 23rd, February 2nd, nice little win streak, couple losses in a row, February 4th and 5th, but then back to back, a really solid Monday, which is today, February 9th, if you're watching this today, and then also on Friday. So two good trades. Now, the Holy Grail stat is this, 2.75. A 2.75 profit factor is not what you see. So the trading world, anything over 1.5, that is considered good. Like that is a great strategy. That's not good to me. That's great. Now, if you're hitting over 2, that's elite. That is in the elites category. And it just proves, and what it does is that's essentially a great risk to reward. That means that you are risking less and with your than your reward. So, and I'm going to show you a couple trades here. And so let's go ahead and jump into a couple. So the first one I'm going to show you is a loser, right? Because I don't want to just say, oh, this wins every time. But what I want to do is cover some of these stats. So this is the trade tracker. This is essentially how you would trade this. You're going to be getting in at the signal of the strategy. So what this software is it's on TradingView. If you're not familiar with TradingView, they have something called strategy, and it'll get in at the entry criteria, and then it'll get out at the exit criteria. And so it's essentially, I mean, it's pretty clean. Now, obviously, we all have busy lives, and so that's why we developed alerts that's going to just do as soon as you get in and out of these trades, and a bunch of cool stuff like that. So really cool stats here. These are all the numbers. I really just wanted to point out to some of these quick trades. They're very fast, 10:30 to 12, right? 10:10 to 10:55. That's a 45-minute trade. 10 o'clock to 10:20, that was a loss. This one, 10:15 to 11:25, that was a loss. But again, these are very small, short trades. If you're busy at work, You know, if you got whatever job and you know, you could take literally probably even less than 5 minutes to just jump into this trade once you get the option that we recommend. Now, you don't even have to trade options. You can actually do shares, you know, or things like that. But obviously, options are going to be the best bang for your buck with a quick system like this. And it also, if you're a Forex, don't forget, there is Forex alerts with this as well. It actually uses other markets, gold, Forex, other stuff. I'm only just going to show you the S&P 500 because I just can't believe how good of a hot streak it's on, honestly. And so, all right, but anyways, let's jump into the strategy here. So here's a loss. This was a quick little small loss. It was a breakdown, not really great, not really the best looking trade here. Here's one right here that just did not meet our criteria. So that's would have been a nice little move here. It just wasn't above our line right there. So it has to have some momentum. It's a little bit of momentum before making some of these trades. So here we go. So here's some more trades. This is the January 23rd, a beautiful snap range. So I'm going to park on here for a second just to kind of show you how this thing works and why we actually get out quickly, because we don't want to be holding these things, because a lot of times this is what happens with basically, or really any stock in the stock market. You get a big morning move and it just chop and even goes down and gives it all back. And so if you were an options trader, you know this. You've seen this, you felt this, you felt the morning rush. Yes, I'm up, I'm good. You know, life is good. And then you look at it at the end of the day and it's back to where it started. So, and that's the really great advantage of a morning breakout system like this. And so here we go. So anyway, so this is the entry right here. This is the breakout. It actually has to break that range and then boom, straight up. And then this is where our exit criteria was. We have an ATR that we target, and this is exactly where it would have gotten out. Now, if it didn't hit that right here, we would have waited till 12 o'clock to get out. So 12 o'clock is essentially our alerts fire off at 10 after 12, just that next candle. And that is where you get out. So that would have been that trade. Here's another morning snap trade, a really nice range. I mean, sometimes though, it is a little bit of the move already happened pre-market, but you still get that nice move. That nice move in the morning, and you get out right at the. This is actually an end of the day close. So this is the entry right here, exit. So real nice trade there. Here's the 27th, beautiful breakout, sideways down, and then boom, exit long at our criteria. And look at this at 12. What do we get out right here? This is essentially, if we didn't hit target, this is where we would have gotten out anyways. And look what happens. It gives it all back. It did come back up though. But it's just, you know, that just happens time and time again. And you know, but this is it, guys. This is the strategy. This is the indicator. I did want to show you guys this. This was a crazy one. So here's the morning range. It broke out of the range right here. Sell signal. So this does both buy and puts. You're going to be trading orb, orb or snap trades, whatever you want to call it. I call it just a winning strategy. You break out right there, entry, and then ATR at our recommended ATR, exit. This did continue to go, and these kind of hurt a little bit because, you know, it's a bummer whenever you see them continuing to run, because we would have gotten out right here if it didn't hit our take profit, which I guess is still around where we got out first place. But anyway, so that was a really nice one. Here's an end of the day close, another breakout to the downside. Pull up. This was probably very close to our. I don't have the label in our alerts. We actually have the stop loss, take profit, all that good stuff. But right here, very close. But then it was a really nice entry, exit right there, and then here's another one. Boom, breakout. And I mean, this is just. I mean, it's crazy. Look at this breakout of the downside. Here's the entry. Here's the exit. Let's see a loss here. So this was an interesting one because the markets really looked like they were about to die, like they were about to go like very, very far down, probably even past this. There was a lot of momentum, but then they did recover, and it hit it recovered. I shouldn't even say recover. It just pulled back into the zone, which does happen with this kind of system. We're talking a very small amount of moving happening before these big trades. And then this actually did come down. So this could have been a winner. This really could have been a winner. It just hit our stop loss. Just hit our stop loss there. Here's another one. Here's a loss. This is why we get out, because here was the entry right there, but we got out right when, as soon as it got in, it just wasn't enough momentum. It hit our stop loss, and I mean that's a very small loss. Here's a really nice morning trade. And again, guys, I could do this all day long. I could show you all these trades. Again, this is just the S&P 500. But I just want you to kind of get a feel for this. Here's our 2 winners in a row, right? This was on Friday, and then here was just today, which, you know, at the time I'm doing this video, this was the morning snap range. Man, I was watching this thing. I was like, this thing's about to go. And it did. Boom, pull back a little bit, and then right to the exit. So that's snap trades. It just in a nutshell. With the S&P 500, like I said, the profit factor of 2.75. Look at this, 2.75. The amount of money the strategy made for every unit of money it lost. And this is just what this is just their way of doing the report. And I have no issue with this kind of report, because to me, I'm getting in at these alerts, I'm getting out at the alerts, right? And so that to me is a very close indication of how the system works. And again, there's always a little wiggle room here and there for, you know, real life scenario. You could be having a coffee, you could be in a meeting, you could be whatever, right? We all have busy lives. And so that's kind of the point that I want to make there, that we don't just want to just stick to, you know, this is the holy grail, right? No, I mean, it's just, this is what the strategy would have been if you would have got in and out at all the recommendations. So again, that's the S&P 500 strategy that we're using in the morning with this system. So I'll link it in the description. I'll link this system in the description. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and check it out. We do currently have a beta with it. And so what the beta gives you is the strategy, the indicator that I just showed you the entire time. Then we actually have like 3 or 4 guides. Basically how you can do cash account with this, or if you want to do that, because we've had a lot of folks, saying about pattern day trading and things like that. And so again, that's just part of what we have to deal with right now until the rules changed, for anybody with a smaller account of less than 25,000. But so we have a guide on that. We have the option that you should be selecting on some of these trades. And then obviously if you're Forex or anything like that, you're trading with gold or commodities, things like that, we have a guide for you for that type of trades as well. It's the same thing. It's literally the same way. And what's cool about our system, before I go, you can even move this snap range. So if you are a savvy trader and you like to tweak things, we got a lot of guys that like to tweak some of our systems to kind of how they trade or kind of what they want. If maybe they only have one ticker that they want to trade with at a specific time, you can actually move the snap zone, which is really cool. And so if you're wanting to trade maybe at the end of the day or in the morning or at the middle of the day, to me, I want the most volatility, and that's where the system thrives. That's why we trade it in the morning. So again, that's going to be it for me for this video. Enjoy your day. If you're interested in snap trades, like I said, there'll be a beta link in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. Leave us a comment if you're interested. If you think that this is just a orb strategy, trade the orb, trade it yourself, do it, draw these lines, trade the breakouts. You don't need software, right? I'm not forcing anybody to do anything. If you don't want to use software and alerts and, get help with, the way that we're, trading with this, you don't have to do it. You can trade it yourself. You may need to learn and adapt, to a few different things, but you know what? That's part of trading, and that's a great way to learn. And use AI, right? Have AI help you out, because AI is here to stay, and it's a very big help for traders. I wouldn't trust everything AI tells you about trading, but I would ask it for help if you're wanting to find a way to to trade a system like this without having the software that we develop. So all right, that's going to be it for me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.